Good evening and welcome to SBS's Reality Bites. My name is Tom Toner and tonight we are excited to introduce a new segment called Documentaries Deflated. In this segment, we will examine how objective and truthful documentaries truly are. Are documentaries telling us the truth? Or are we as viewers being manipulated to believe the filmmaker's version of the truth? Tonight we will explore the controversial document Where to Invade Next by the infamous Michael Moore. This eye-opening human interest documentary exposes the staggering differences between the systems and lifestyles of American and European countries. Moore exposes the utopian ideals and practices of European countries and harshly contrasts them against American ideals and practices. He openly condemns America through sarcastic humor and through the purposeful inclusion of the shocked reactions of citizens of European countries when they learn of how America really operates. In all, Michael Moore succeeds in portraying American ideas and Americans themselves as foolish and undeveloped in contrast to European nations. This social interest documentary was written, narrated, and produced by Michael Moore, the same man responsible for Bowling for Columbine. Where to Invade Next was released last year and targets the people and politicians of sweet, sweet America. Moore privileges his beliefs in this documentary, promoting socialist ideas and systems, while exploring where America has failed and how it can improve. Michael Moore takes the audience on a journey through Europe, exposing how it has prospered in recent years. This documentary presents only one correct interpretation of the European government, which is conveyed as authoritarian and far superior in contrast to the more libertarian governments of America. It is Michael Moore's intention that Americans, the intended audience of the film, will be educated through the exposure of the European way of life and awaken to the vastly superior systems and practices compared to the foolish American systems portrayed by Michael Moore. In this documentary, Michael Moore shows extreme bias through who he privileges and who and what he shuns and silences. He interviews only candidates who support his values and don't refute his own personal beliefs. He doesn't address the counter-arguments at all. He presents selective information, only that which promotes his subjective perspectives and serves his intentions. Michael Moore begins his journey through Europe and Italy. Purposeful directional decisions are first evident when he travels to Italy and speaks to a couple who enjoy an awful lot of paid vacation time. They are both fit and looking good, which Michael Moore intentionally capitalizes upon, making it seem like the European way of life is superlative to all other ways of life.
In the winter, and then the first week of June, because it's our anniversary. Then 3 weeks in August. Because in Italy, during the month of August, it's usually like a shutdown.
Are you paid for these weeks?
Yeah, sure. Because every year, we usually have like 30-35 days of...
Here, the audience can see that the interview is accompanied by an alluring montage featuring photographs of the couple either enjoying their vacation, relaxing on beaches, playing in the ocean, scantily clad, smiling cheek to cheek. Needless to say, it enamors the audience with the idea of a perfect life attained through the ideals of a paid vacation. As such, the audience views the Italian way of life as superior and the American way of life as inferior, with government policies not serving the best interests of the people. From there, Michael Moore travels to France, where he explores the public schools system's food services. Michael Moore sits down and enjoys a 4-course school meal with the children at a public school, as instrumental music plays, making the meal appear grand. Not only does he showcase the high standard of meals served to these children, but Michael Moore uses juxtaposition to show what American children are served at school. A still shot is revealed to the audience of revolting American mystery meats and sketchy vegetables, followed up by close-up shots of shocked French children reacting in horror to American lunches, in turn powerfully positioning the audience to be unnerved by the contrast. Through the use of images, film footage, music, and juxtaposition, we can see how Michael Moore clearly promotes his own position that America is lagging behind these European countries. Needless to say, Michael Moore piggybacks the public to support his belief that American school lunch should be more like France's. Next on his trip, Michael Moore visits Finland, the #1 country of education. He creates a huge bias by presenting a montage of happy kids playing the playground. Let's take a look at that.
Even more remarkable is that Chef Monier spends less per lunch than we do in our schools in the United States.
And this public school is not in a wealthy area. In fact, I got a hold of a copy of it from one of the poorest schools in one of the poorest.
Here, he selectively uses camera shots, including close-ups of happy, smiling faces, wide-angle shots conveying this general sense of happiness in the schoolyard, therefore pushing his agenda further, capitalizing on the instincts of the public to feel joy for these happy children, and, in turn, approval of the education system that leads to such contentment. Michael Moore has clearly positioned the audience to favor the European socialist ideas and practices. The fourth destination Michael Moore visits on his journey to destroy American ideals is Slovenia. He interviews students, presenting to the audience those that support his point of view that education should be free. Moore presents a video montage of university students fighting the government for free education in numerous other countries, such as Portugal and Slovenia. But this is selectively juxtaposed against film footage of American students on campus sitting lazily around in a field, clearly apathetic and taking no action amid tuition hikes. These techniques push Michael Moore's agenda, portraying Americans as passive and disinterested, while showing what they could achieve if they fought for better conditions and worked to achieve their goals. Moore meets the president of Slovenia and asks, using his trademark sarcasm, for the president's surrender so America could adopt his country's free education system, to which the president responded affirmatively, clearly conveying Moore's approval of the socialist system of free education. Nearing the end of the documentary, he reaches his final destination, Iceland. This country is conveyed as having the most gender equality. The government there has instituted laws in order to force businesses to become more equitable, and in turn taking away rights from others, mainly business leaders and employers. He doesn't draw attention to the freedom that has been taken from employers, as they are required to have at least 40% of either gender in their workforce, even if the job requires the strength of a man or the finesse of a woman. In this portion of the documentary, Moore purposely fails to give voice to the counter-arguments in order to bolster his own arguments. Overall, Michael Moore shows bias by only showing one perspective, that being freedom should be taken away in order to promote equality. Conclusively, Michael Moore presents only one set of selected information and perspectives in order to promote his viewpoint. Michael Moore's bias is best revealed through his failure to allow the Americans themselves to offer counter-arguments. Based on his own beliefs, Michael Moore utilizes persuasive techniques to powerfully communicate his message through Where to Invade Next, that America isn't a socialist nation and is therefore inferior and should be changed. That concludes our segment of Documentaries Deflated. I will see you next time on Reality Bites. I'm Tom Toner, signing off.